It is I, John O'Regan, Young Coma Voice for the Coma Man, coming to you today live from Shadyside, Ohio, where I have something to say about that instance down around San Antonio. That's right. In a high school basketball game, the predominantly white basketball team and students of Alamo Heights High School defeated a basketball team from Thomas Edison High School, which is predominantly Hispanic. After the game, the fans of Alamo Heights began chanting USA, USA. Of course, this smacks of racism is what we are told. And in a way, it does smack of racism. There's no doubt about this. It was a taunt. And the situation was handled pretty well up to the point where some administrative idiot at Alamo Heights High School said that these people, meaning the students, shall be silenced. That is wrong. This is still the United States of America, and nobody should be silenced. But that being said, up until that point, it was handled pretty well, because to tell you the truth, it was a taunt. And the people at Thomas Edison High School were owed an apology, and they got it. And that is exactly what should have happened. And with that being said, let me explain something to you Hispanics. You don't seem to understand that we have a very serious problem. This isn't just an instance of racism. What this is political correctness run amok. And I'm going to explain it to you, and I'm going to give you some food for thought. Look at it like this. At what point do you think that white people are finally going to say enough is enough when it comes to having this multicultural nonsense forced on us? At some point, they are going to react to it, and they're going to rebel against it. It's all this damn liberal political correctness, and it's being regurgitated, and you see that manifest itself in that unfortunate incident down in San Antonio. There is no doubt about it. The problem here is that you're having culture clashes, and it seems like to us, the Caucasians, that we always have to try and accommodate you and your culture, and that's a shame, because we have a distinct American culture, and the basic idea is that when you come to this country and you immigrate here, you try and adapt to our distinct American culture. You learn our language. English language, for heaven's sakes. Our form of the English language isn't even the same thing that they speak in England. We even spell our words differently than what they do. Distinctly American. We have our own music. Jazz, blues, country music. It's distinctly American. True, our culture is only 220-some years old, and compared to European cultures and even Mexican cultures, it's relatively young. But it's still distinctly American. And it would be nice if you would assimilate yourself into our culture and try and see things our way. Because we want you to be here in this country as long as you do it legally and you come here and try and be functional, not fluent in the English language. I don't have a problem with you. You're welcome here. The great thing about this country is it's a melting pot, and immigrants make the country stronger. So why don't you just assimilate yourselves into our culture instead of getting all upset when we reject the idea that you seem to want different rights? Because that's exactly what's happening here. And it leads to a very serious problem. And I got news for you. I know who's behind it. Now, look at it like this. A few months ago, we had our worthless Marxist dictator president, Barack Hussein Obama, the man who's not a Muslim, went on your cable channel, Univision, and asked you people to vote in the midterm elections. He said that it was very important that you get to the polls and defeat our enemies. So in other words, I'm your enemy. A fellow American citizen that just happens to have white skin is now, according to our worthless president, an enemy. Now do you get to see why what happens at that basketball game happens? We really don't like being called enemies and teabaggers and God knows what else by our worthless president. And that's the problem. And that's the food for thought I'm going to give you right now. Don't you see what's going on? So we have that little chant down there in San Antonio, and you're mad at us, and we're mad at you. And that is exactly what this guy wants. He wants us at each other's throats. He does it with the Occupy Wall Street movement. And don't think for 1 second he doesn't have his hand in this, because I'm here to tell you him and his Marxist-Leninist buddies do. They pit income group against income group, race against race, religion against religion. What do you think of this little thing with the contraceptives? You, meaning Hispanics, are predominantly Catholic, if I'm not mistaken. So what do you think about your president, assuming that you're going to vote for him and that you're all Democrats? What do you think of your president telling you that you have to have contraception? Do you hear me? You have to. It's a mandate. In other words, it's an order from the federal government that you have to do it. You're Catholics, aren't you? Do you really like being told by your worthless Marxist president that you have to have contraceptions? Don't you see what's going on here? This is exactly what happened in the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia. It is the exact same thing. Do you really think that he saw the tape of that basketball game and said, gee, that's a shame that's going on? Or do you think he's just rubbing his hands, licking his lips, going, yeah, baby, we need a little bit more of that? I'm here to tell you it's the latter. And he's not going to do anything about it. Look what he did with the Black Panther Party and the voter intimidation charges that were brought against them by the Bush administration. He comes in and his Afro-American Attorney General, for God's sakes, says that they're going to dismiss the charges against them. So in other words, if you're white or Hispanic, then you walk up to a polling place and the Black Panthers say, no, you can't do it. So they dismiss the charges against them. He knows damn well it's going to infuriate people like me. And it did. And there's another example of this guy getting each other so that we're at each other's throats. That's what's going on. And in the Bolshevik Revolution, they were at each other's throats to the point where it all boiled over. There was revolution in the streets, violence and all that chaos. And the Bolsheviks walked in and took over. And if you ask me, that's what's going on here. This guy likes it when we hate each other. And it is a damn shame. Now, with that being said, all I'm going to do is ask you to think about what I just said. Think very long and hard about it. Because one of these days, if you don't listen to what I'm telling you, it's going to be us and you in the streets slugging it out. And do you really want that? That's not what this country's about. I'm here to tell you. Until next time, this is your favorite conservative, Ronald Reagan, saying this to you Hispanics right now. Just remember the Latin motto from this country and believe in it, because there are a lot of people like me that believe in it, and I hope that you do too. And that motto is E pluribus unum, out of many, one. Until next time, I say this, over and out.